Hello and welcome to episode 48 of our Timberborn Update 7 Iron Teeth Project 1K playthrough. Cycle 83, day 19. 15 and a half days left in our current drought cycle. Last time, we refined our... I gotta zoom out or I'm gonna have that whole sound just destroying my brain. Sorry. we refined this design here, and I really like that, and you guys seem to like it as well. But then, somebody brought up an interesting point. If we're going to be doing all of our food processing down here in terms of the factories for the algae and everything, it makes sense for us to instead have these hydroponic gardens down on this side, and then keep this to be just mushrooms on this end, because the mushrooms are currently being fermented over here. So I think that's what we're going to do. I'm not going to, demolish these while they're still in the middle of making algae, because we do need to have algae. We haven't had a full crop of that yet. So I'm going to try to remember to turn these off after this first thing, and then get to move on with other things. But that is what we're going to be doing. And then we also have to actually build stuff down here. And there's been some discussion in the comments, some pretty good suggestions as to what we can do here. And then placement of other stuff on top of them. I think it's going to be pretty good by the time we get around to it. But we'll get there when we get there. So what's going to end up happening is, right here, we have 18 and 20 right here. This is half of what we need. All we're going to do is just copy-paste that. Well, we can't copy-paste in the game, but you get the idea. Just flip this, put it over here, and then this right here with the 18 that it is going to go on this side, and then we'll do the same thing on the other side there. That is 36 of those if we keep that. So we will have to subtract a few, because if you remember from our math we did earlier, or I didn't do the math, but we need 26 hydroponic farms. So 6 of these here gives us 12. 24 obviously is not 26, but it is very close. So we'll just take this third layer off, and we'll talk a little bit more about what we're going to do with that as we get into that part. But we also have an issue. Well, we have many issues, but this one is the one we're going to address now. Treated planks do not have anywhere to be stored. And that has caused us no insignificant amount of problems. We do have rubble on the ground, of course, but it has nowhere to go because I removed all of this stuff because I thought, oh, we're not going to have any problems at all. Well, foolish as I was and continue to be, we'll have to have somewhere for all of this stuff to go. Easiest thing for us to do right now is to just put in a couple of large industrial piles right here for treated planks, and then see about finding somewhere else to stick things. I think there's not really any reason we shouldn't do this based on the geometry here. It's just going to be kind of an unenviable position to put ourselves in with pathing, but this is probably fine. Boom. We have the vertical tubeway here that can go up to that same area, so that's just one of those things we'll get going and move on from there. As we go back up, we do have space over here to do kind of the same thing. And I suppose we probably should have, and a couple of you guys commented about this, probably should have put another campfire over here in this other corner, and then all this other stuff. But right now, for the amount of beavers we have, which is just shy of half of what we are aiming to end with. The campfire utilization's looking okay. Obviously, we're going to need more. But for now, things are looking pretty okay. I also did want to come down here to our mangrove area, because this is something that we've discussed a little bit, expanding this out to have additional mangroves. We do have a pretty good storage of fruit right now, but that is not going to hold up when we have 1,000 beavers. We take a look at this again. I probably should have just looked at this the first time. The mangrove fruit's almost maxed out, and we do have some extra, but again, need to get that going. So what I'm going to do is I'm not going to remove all of these things, but I am going to unplant here. Just all the way around. Move this out to this next row. I, for some reason, couldn't click on that. That's fine. Now we'll just get this locked and loaded here. Go right in between these columns. We will have to move a couple more things. But that's going to increase the amount of mangroves that we can grow pretty substantially. It's not going to be perfectly even, it's going to be 2 blocks shorter on this side than it is on this side. But I think I can deal with that. It's more important to me that this just lines up nicely here. And because this is all... Come on, click on this. This is all cassava. If you remember our numbers for cassava, we have to have 900. And one complete quadrant of this is roughly 500 something. But this level, of course, has mangroves on it. So you can sit here and count all these if you want. I'm not going to do that. But I think what it is going to mean that we're going to have to do is this level will lose the campfires. And we will need to plant some more cassava there, because this will be irrigated as well as all of these corners. And then maybe have to have some cassava on another level. But we'll get there when we get there. All sorts of different things that we can work on. I just want to make sure we're setting things in motion as early as we possibly can. So, we also need to discuss what's going to happen with our industrial area, because I've said for quite a while that this is not going to be permanent, and it is not going to be permanent. We just need to make sure before we remove stuff that we've built everything we possibly can build that we think we're going to need to build, because it's going to take a long time to get stuff if we remove all but the most essential production facilities. In terms of housing, once these are placed, and once I have this other 4th stack here and here, we're still going to need about 250 places for beavers to live, and you know, we could kind of just shove them wherever if we really wanted to, but there's also more elegant ways to do things, if you catch what I'm getting at here. Just gonna take a little bit of trial and error. Obviously we have our 2 earth repopulators. This one has nothing going for it. This one is 2/3 done, and there is going to be a 3rd here and a 4th here. Those might have to be some of the last things that we build. And they, of course, have tremendous, tremendous, tremendous costs that we will have to account for. Because keep in mind, I got rid of a whole bunch of storage, and a lot of those items are still on the ground, so these numbers aren't exactly accurate. But we still have to have somewhere for that stuff to go. Which is why I did something like this here. We will need to have another platform so that can get accessed. And then I think this next level up we'll need to do basically exactly the same thing that we've already done. I thought I scrolled up. There we go. Just do one of these numbers right like that. Put a ladder. I guess in this corner is probably fine. And this corner is probably fine. That needs to have that there. There as well. This goes into that. And then, how did we have this set? This was planks, logs, metal blocks. Probably need to have more. Oh, that's right. Those first 2 were log storage. And somebody left a comment saying I need to figure out how to copy-paste this stuff. I didn't even think that was an option that I could possibly do. And I forget what it was that allows you to do that, supposedly, so I'm sure I'm going to get yelled at for that, but it's fine. Just more plank storage. We definitely have to have planks. Treated planks we normally wouldn't have to have a ton of storage for, but because those get used so tremendously for the earth repopulator, we are going to need to have those. So we just kind of copied what we already had here. Should be fine. Logs there. I don't think we're going to need to have any more dirt storage, because we're really not consuming very much. So this one is going to be more treated planks. Again, we have a whole lot of this stuff on the ground. It just has to get picked up. And because of the TImprove mod, that is marked as a priority. They will clean it up. Things will be fine. Okay, 46%. Let's get this on triple speed. I am, not trying to rush this to its end, but it is episode 48, and we have a whole lot of stuff that we need to get into. So, outside of that, I did also stop the, well, not entirely, but I stopped a whole lot of production when I took out these food factory things that we have not rebuilt. Remember, they're going on top of these, and they don't have any way to access anything. There's going to be another food factory here, which I cannot do because we have this oil press, because this was conveying power all the way across. And I don't think it's going to be that big of a problem, but I would like for them to pick up as much of this as they can before I disconnect absolutely everything. But we are going to have a pathway coming all the way down here just to connect things through. Make it a little easier to get around. I know this is already here, but it's going to make sense once I have everything else situated. We'll have to have power probably going maybe not right above this pathway, but something like that. Just the way it goes. If you remember from last episode, we talked about placement of other stuff here. We've got 3 on this side, 3 on this side, and then all of our different oil presses and stuff in the middle here. And we also have to talk about what's going to go on top of them. We have all of these different recreational things. The wind tunnels, I think what we're going to do is place them on top of this whole thing if we can make this structure work. And the non-powered stuff, like the exercise plaza, which has the same footprint, by the way, as the motivatorium, can go on top of this area here. If you remember the math from last episode, as far as wind tunnels go, we need about 3. I'm going to end up building 4 exercise plazas. We only need 2. So it's possible that we could put an exercise plaza here, and then that's just good enough. I guess we'll have to see what happens and move on from there. But what I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to have to pause and do a cut here so I can pull up that picture, which I really should have had before I started recording, but again, you know how this goes, so I will see you in just a moment. Alright, so I've pulled up the picture, which I'm not going to show you right now because I can't do that while I'm recording, but you can see that we moved everything in 1 square to eliminate the 4 wide gap in the middle and turn it into a 2 wide instead. And I think that's going to be a whole lot better of an option. We could either put housing in the middle of that, or we could do something else. We'll figure that out when we get to where we want to get to. But what this is going to allow me to do now is come in with a warehouse right here and a warehouse right here, and then on top of those get these food factories in place. As a reminder, there is going to be a 3rd one here and then another one here once this is all taken out, and the same on this side. But we can and should continue placing as much stuff as we can. So these are all just completely empty. I think what's going to make the most sense, underneath directly these food factories, to have the raw materials. If you remember what we said earlier, every one of these recipes just hugely increases the quantity of food based on the input. So the corn is 5 times as much, eggplants is 6 times as much, and so is the algae. So having the storage right next to the factory for the raw material means we can have the storage for the finished product wherever the beavers are going to live. So let's just decide right now, these right here, these closest ones to our algae, so this one and then this one is going to be for the algae here. And that is just, again, these 2, which means underneath this is a good place to have the raw algae. And then outside of that, we have the corn and the eggplants. The corn does not need to have any canola oil. The eggplants do. So the eggplants, in terms of recipes, require 4 food factories, and the corn requires 4 food factories. So what I'm thinking of doing there is 4 here, all grouped the same. I don't think we're going to need to have 4 large warehouses just for raw corn. I think we can probably get by, honestly, with just having 1 or maybe 2. 2 seems fine because that's what I have for the raw algae at this point here. So I'll just go ahead and say that this side can be for corn. It doesn't really matter, I don't think. Did I put that for corn rations? I did. All right, let's fix that. That means this one is going to be for corn, as well as this one, and then this side for eggplants, raw eggplants, and then this same thing here. At some point we're going to have to, cut the cord and just have them take all of this out, but I do want to make sure that we have as many of these done as we possibly can. I've paused all of these lumber mills on this side. We'll accept this one because I want to get more of the gears going. But guess what? We don't have gear storage either. So let's take a moment now. I know we're just doing a whole bunch of stuff. You might feel like I'm not being very efficient, very good at this, and that could very well be true, but I am genuinely trying to get this taken care of. Gears go there. We had a storage of, I don't know, probably about 3,000 before, so I will put one more of these large warehouses for gears just right here. Because again, we're going to need those. We need 1,500 for each Earth Repopulator, and we have 3 Earth Repopulators that have had 0 gears contributed. So this will help, just getting those kind of balancing out everything else. We already talked about the treated planks. And metal should, by the time we have all of this other stuff taken care of, be in decent shape. Why is this not... Oh! Okay, that was a very basic error by yours truly there. I guess I'll have to fix this. That was for planks and not metal, so I don't know what in the world I was thinking there. That would be why. That would be why. That wasn't even marked. Good job, me. But we do have... okay, not so much metal over in this exact spot, but I know there's some on the ground, and it shouldn't be that big of a deal for us to be able to take care of all of that. Let's go ahead and get these paths in place here. Again, this whole thing is going to get taken out, redone. It won't be that big of a deal. We just have to start somewhere. So this is the raw stuff. Because we have 4 of these that are going to be up on these podiums, so to speak, I will have the finished product here toward the outside, finished product here toward the outside. And then in the middle here, where we have the oil presses, as a reminder, we're going to have 16 of these just here on that side, same kind of deal here, access aisle down the middle, and then in the very middle-ish, right around here, we're going to have the other aisle. Did I do a stupid thing when I had this laid out? I think I may have done a stupid thing. No, that matches up. I thought for a second I hadn't condensed this enough. Maybe I'm just, maybe I'm actually losing it. Nope. That was right. I don't know what. It's very easy to lose your confidence in your thinking when, you got a couple thousand people watching all of these things, and a couple people are really good at pointing out mistakes, and you don't want to get mad because that's what you told them to do, but it still makes you think, well, maybe I have no idea what I'm doing, and I don't actually have any credibility here. But we continue anyway. So we will need to have ladders here all the way up to this spot. Get that connected. Not that it really matters. That goes there. This already has ladders here. But remember, we were going to have this entire corner replaced. And you know what? I'm feeling like an agent of chaos at the moment. So let's put this out of its... Well, I guess it doesn't experience misery. It's a stack of ladders. But this is something that needs to get done. Anyway, which way did I have the rungs of the ladder facing? Is that this way? Okay, why did I have this one this way? I did. Okay, well, I do want to try and keep this as samey as possible, if I can manage it. And then, of course, we have right here the same kind of deal that happened with this. I don't know that I'm going to need to have this power shaft go this way because we're going to have this coming in from this other side. And yeah, that's not actually going to matter. So for this, I will keep this in place just in case it becomes a problem. But I think for now, this will be okay here. Not going to be a huge deal. And then this on this side, of course, is going to have more stuff after I take everything out. Put this back in triple speed. Try to let these guys just build what they're going to build. But now we have to put in all of our oil presses. And those also have to go on top of stuff. So what's going to happen here is we're going to have to figure out, and I maybe should have put a little bit more thought into this. You're going to have to figure out what's going to go underneath, because these are... That's the wrong building. These are 2x2. And the big warehouses are 3x3. That's going to mean that things aren't really going to line up perfectly. But the medium warehouses also are not very dense in terms of what they can store. So if we were to put these in, I would have one here, and then one here. And that would still line up because we're going to have 4 2x2s. More or less lines up. It might be like one one extra on the side. But that it would still work. It's not the most beautiful thing ever, but it would work. Or I could just say, you know what, just put large warehouses in, and it is what it is. That isn't going to be an issue for a little bit, though. But we do need to have some sort of access to all of this stuff. I suppose it's probably going to make the most sense to just try and keep this kind of simple with a ladder on that end and then a ladder on this end, but that currently is going to block the doorway. No, you know what, who cares? It's going away anyhow. So that can be fine there. Don't think we're going to need to have ladders anywhere else. It's really not going to make that huge of a difference. But I have the ability to do it, so I might as well. I'll just put another one in the middle so we don't have to worry about that in the future. So that's going to work out just fine for there. Going to do the same kind of deal right here. That's also going to block out. Well, you know what? It's going to have to be good enough. That will work there. We have alternative paths that will be just fine. I just need to get these guys actually building the rest of this so that we can use the materials so we can free up room to store additional materials that we need for other stuff. I also had the thought, you know, I could just put these other food factories right here because that's going to be a little bit easier for power transfer purposes. And then just keep this, but, you know, we're not using these anyway. I really don't need to lose any sleep over it. Alright, so that's all of our raw eggplants. That's all full up. Algae obviously has not finished. We're at 78%. That seems fine. I really should just, honestly, just commit to something here. But I do want to see one thing. If I put that there, and I put that there, and I've got in between there space for this and this to go. But I said I might want to put housing in the middle, so I think as, you know, ergonomics the wrong term. I need you to understand what I'm thinking, not what I'm saying. I know it's a tall order. I think this is just going to have to work. I know it's not the best thing ever, but space-wise, it's going to be something we can use, and then I can put additional housing right here down the middle, and we can just be fine with that. So yeah, that's going to go in there, and then I'll just have to put in here. That's going this way. I guess I could have just kept that. But yeah, I think, especially because now this is what it is, I don't have to remove the buildings yet, but I can get rid of the path. That is a very easy thing for us to do, so I can actually build the rest of our stuff here, because we got a lot of stuff to take care of, and I know a lot of us want this to progress. Not necessarily want it to be over forever immediately, but no need to waste time if we don't have to. And we're going to have ladders as well. I'm just going to keep doing the same thing that I'd done here. There and there. There and there. And I will have to be careful when I place my buildings not to have the doorways in front of ladders should I have to go up from there, which I think we are going to need to based on what we're going to do on top of that. So now that we have this as well, we're going to have to put in this here. Can't do the rest of them quite yet, but that's going to help us. This is the corn zone, so that becomes corn. This is the eggplant zone, that becomes eggplant. The rations at least. And there's my food factories. That goes there. That goes to corn. That goes... Come on. Click. My computer is starting to rebel against me here. And I think these... Oh yeah, these paths can go away. We don't need these. We do not need these at this moment in time. Yeah, so now I can... Yeah, there we go. Now I can get all of these. This, unfortunately, is still load-bearing for the power infrastructure. But this is going to help us out a lot, having this in place ready to go. So there goes our eggplants. I'm going to start building the additional housing here. I know we can't actually attach anything else to it yet. But, again, this is going to just help us out a whole lot. That's not ready, like I said. And here, I will have to also put in a set of platforms. Same thing over here. And then We already had the path on the bottom there, so that will have to go all the way across. Make sure that's on the correct level. And then we'll do the same thing here. I can just drag that over. And we have that path, and then on top of it, we've got oil presses. I don't think I'm going to need to extend the ladders up past this for everything, but I will just flip these, again, because I can. Just get that situated there. We'll do the same kind of deal here. And then we flip this on this side. That should be the correct direction for that. And that is, again, set up just like so. And I know we're not going to have power going across absolutely everywhere just yet. And part of that is because I didn't have that going across here. That should connect all of this. And then, well, you know what? I guess there's really no harm in us doing this across every single junction here, because it's not like we're going to have too much on top of that anyway. Just get the rest of this in place, and then I'm going to feel a time-lapse coming on in just a moment here. Alright, so I know this is a whole bunch of stuff for them to build all at once, and you know as well as I do that it does just take time, so I'm going to put this in that 30 times speed, and oh, this thing is chugging, 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 like the little engine that could. I'm seeing a very beefy 2 FPS right now, spiking downwards. But we're going to let them take care of that, and then after they've finished everything, then we'll come back and talk about what is next, what's going to get stored in those medium storages, and everything else that we've got to take care of. Okay, so we've built all of these storages, and we have all of these oil presses on top. This is now connected to this side. This is now connected, well, in theory, to this side as soon as these upper level ones get constructed. I didn't think this was going to be that big of an issue, but apparently I've missed something here. So that is going to have to get fixed. I just need to make sure they can access this. That'll go there, that'll go there. You already know how this goes. I should have had this lined up before the everything else was done here. Okay. So now that this is taken care of, if I start building housing here, then I won't need to have this around the backside, and we should be able to take care of all of our excess capacity needs. As a reminder, right now we are just shy of 500 beavers, and I've got a little over 330 empty beds. So we're in the conversation for being more or less done here building housing. But all the same, we'll just put this in here. If you don't like how this is set up, feel free to let me know. It is always okay to disagree. But I do think this is going to give us a very, very good shot at having everything completely taken care of. Now, we are going to have an issue here getting into the bottom of this side. And there is going to be some sort of a pathway in here. But for these guys in the very, very middle, we're going to need to come in from above, which I hope I can figure out how to explain to you guys. I've got some ideas for this, but I think it's going to end up being one of those things that I just have to do and then show it to you instead of try to explain it, because I have a very limited capacity to do stuff like that. So that, at least once any given pair of these is complete back to back, is going to transfer power, including the ones on the end here, and then everything can be connected and disconnected from all of this mess, and we'll be in good shape. I know we are very, very low on water. This has been pumped to oblivion, and I did say we're going to have some sort of something that might not be today's episode. Maybe the next one, I don't know. I'm trying to do as much as I can, as fast as I can, without it just being really stupid. So we have gotten one entire load of algae out of these things. And yeah, we got 1,400. I'm just going to go ahead and kill these, get these out of here. We've got to get those replaced. And I waited a little bit too long, yes. But it's fine. This is going to have to be changed over to the mushrooms. I mean, like, we really need more storage for this, but I mean, it's where it is. It's fine. So if we're just very quickly Get this set up exactly like it was on the other side, including this 4th level. And then we do have to change each and every one of these to be mushrooms. It may take a little while for this to get built because, well, there's components and parts and stuff everywhere. This lower level one does have to get done first because I can't reach it otherwise. It's the only reason I peeled this back. And then everything else should be fine here. Yep, looks good. And we've just got these. And then once they have these constructed, I do want to take a moment to talk about where we're going to put our exercise plazas. I think we already discussed that, but might as well, since I have the chance here to start fresh, so to speak, get that taken care of. Now, we have this ladder right here in the middle. For the purposes of us putting an exercise plaza in, this ladder basically can't exist. It's going to be in the way. So just get that up so I don't have to keep clicking on that. We get rid of that, and then instead we take one of these as a ladder. Is it? Oh, no, it's not. Why did I do that? I think I was supposed to have a ladder here, and I just did not. Okay, well, that is going to be simple enough for us to fix. Just have to get rid of that. That'll go there, and I am going to have this, I think, go all the way to the very top because I'm not going to be putting that much else on top of this here. Just need to make sure this is connected. And then the rest of this can just be regular right there, and then I will, at the very edge here, put in another set of ladders because it is just easier to do it that way. So, now what's going to happen is I've got space to put in an exercise plaza, and it will fit any manner of places here. So I could have this face this ladder this way. I could have this face this ladder this way. I could have this face this ladder this way. I think it's going to be best for it to face this way because that is going to give us the most direct connection to housing. If I put this up here, I've got space around the edge for some monuments or other things that maybe don't have to be directly accessible. And I think that is probably going to be the best way to go about things. So if I just do that, that's going to give me just right around the outside here. It's going to give me space to put a labor monument, but maybe that's not the best thing to put right there because of the range. The Flame of Unity is going to catch every beaver that goes through this corner. Well, actually, the labor monument would do the same thing. But it's not going to catch all these guys while they're sleeping. Even so, the way this is set up, this is probably fine. Probably fine to just put this here. So I'll turn that around so it's, you know, like watching over this side of the, you know, exercise plaza. That going there will probably be fine as well. That does mean that these rooftop terraces are going to come out on this side as we work to kind of mirror everything. But we do have plans, or I have plans rather, for all of that there. Just got to remove, come on. Just got to remove that. I know I need to put more of the other stuff in this side, but I still have to move other things. Everything in its own time. Everything in its own time. This does need to have a ladder put in place. That's going to go all the way up, like I said before. That's going to go there. That's going to go there. Did I put a path on top? No, I did not. Okay. This path has to go away. This one has to go away. This one doesn't have to go away, but it's going to go away. This ladder technically doesn't have to go away, but it's going to be easier if I do it that way. And then the same thing that we've already done, we'll just pop this in here just for the sake of the symmetry. Pop that there. Pop that there. Yeah, that should be fine. Again, it's not perfect, but it'll be good enough. And then we have up on top of here, and this is where this is going to get interesting. Because I think if I put a tribute to ingenuity right here... Oh, that can't be built at that height. Oh, I fooled myself. I boomed myself. Okay, well... It was a decent try. I'm not going to sit here and say that I'm a genius if I've done something stupid like that. Also, you know, it's probably just universally not true. Now I have to know just how wrong I was. Okay, that fits there. Can I go one more eye? One more up. Yes. Okay, so okay, that's like the very bottom of that. Okay, but the range on this is sufficient that I could, in theory, at this spot, which would put it more or less right where this large tank is, I could put one of those there and reach most of the map. I know we kind of already did this, but there's no easily accessible power in here, so that is not going to be a viable thing. I don't know, I'm kind of stuck on this, honestly, because I thought that was going to work. I could just put it on the ground here, because there is power right there, but that's not really a very exciting place for that to go now, is it? I guess I'll just let you guys weigh in on that in the comments, because we are going to probably not get around to that today anyway. At any rate, that's going to have to be good enough. Got 4 days left till the drought is over. And I think, how many... Do we really not have any injured beavers? I got 4. Okay. Well, that also means I'm not going to have all of this mess here. Oh, we haven't even decided what's going to go in all of these storages either. Oh, I forgot about coffee. Oh, that could go here. That probably wouldn't be that bad. Wouldn't be that bad of a thing. Okay, well, I guess I know what's going to go here and here then. This could just be for coffee beans, because the output of the coffee is a liquid. So, coffee beans, coffee beans. And then on the top, coffee brewery. I actually don't know if we've done the math for this. We probably have. 3 breweries. Okay. That's a little bit less exciting to try and figure out how to get in here. Because I know I can easily fit 2. Maybe we'll just have to have one that's in a stupid location. I know I already have... I think I already have one. Yeah, I've got full coffee storage. I don't remember where the other coffee brewery is. Oh, wait, no. No, that's where it is. Okay, well, that's not going to stay there, but this is going to go here. That'll take up that space, and I do have space on the edge. I guess I could put another one up here on top of that. Well, that is not the issue at hand. We need to figure out what is going in all of these. We have, see, I got 6 of these. I got 12. I have 24. I have 24 of these that have no goods selected. And currently, we have pretty robust storage for just about everything. Canola oil, canola seeds. The canola seed storage is where? I'm assuming that's these guys. Fermented cassava. Soybeans, canola seeds. Okay. Well, having canola seed storage over there is fine, but we are also going to need a tremendous amount of it here. I just didn't want to, dedicate a ton of that, but I suppose we might as well just make all of this first level storage canola seeds. I know they're only 200 each, but geometrically, to get everything to fit in here, this is what we are going to have to do. And that should still give us a pretty nice 2400 storage over here, which is about what it was over there. I can't anticipate that is going to be insufficient. Next level up, we have 12 more that have to have something to get shoved in there. And all of the raw foods are already taken care of, so this could be a good opportunity, even though we already have storage for 2600 gears. Could be a good opportunity to just have that over in this general area. So I'll do gears. And then on this side, we don't have a lot of storage for pine resin. In fact, we have 0 storage for pine resin. So this is a good opportunity for us to get 1200 as we kind of mirror this over here. And I know it's not really close to anything that's using it, but it is still storage that we can use, and we can get rid of the gear storage all the way far away from everything. So that takes care of our 24 storages here. Everything else is either not really that important, like explosives, or is not a solid, like the extract or the coffee or the bad water or anything like that. So I feel pretty good about most of this. This not being... yeah, this is supposed to connect here and here, and it does not. Because somebody made a bad choice. This has... Yeah, I should have put... I can't because of... That's where that was. If this wasn't a ladder... Actually, this top bit doesn't even have to be a ladder because there's one right there. I'm just... You know what? I'm just going to do this. There's nothing anyone can do to stop me. There. That'll help. That'll get those things popped in place. We won't need any of this once those are hooked up, which means these can go away. Which then means, because of how this is connected, this can go away. In fact, I'm just going to take it out now because they will take care of what they have to take care of. These food factories here also can go away. And that's going to help us get the rest of our everything in place, as we discussed. So that goes there. That goes there. Just get this path all the way around the outside. Into here. And then I just have to have ladder. I know up against the outside of the map we've had some problems. But I think this is going to be just fine here. Let's get that there, get that there. And then that is finally going to give me the opportunity to place this one here, which of course is going to be corn, not eggplant, corn ration storage. Then the final food factory right here, which is going to be set to corn rations. And we have a well-being of 41, which means I think we finished... No, we did not. Okay. Anyway. All of that to say, I still need to build the rest of the algae production over here, and that is not really something that's going to be that simple, I don't think. Because I can't count. I'm really bad at counting. That's 18, 36. Yeah, okay. That's done. That's done. We've already discussed that. How did I build this anyway? I don't... that was on top of there. Which this is not going to be underneath, so we don't actually have to have... I don't actually have to have this set up the same way. So instead, I know I can't put wind tunnels underneath. Those do have a maximum height. We did talk about some of that. I'm hoping that I can put them on top of here. Which I know I do still have to talk to you about. But I need to have this taken care of here. Alright, so that is too wide. That means this has to go. This also has to go. And then this here, if we're going to keep these in the exact same spot, does have to go. This is not connected to anything right now that is actually viable. And I suppose I could just do that, which is going to allow me to get rid of this. Suboptimal, etc. So on and so forth. I don't think we need to really worry about it. We only need 26 of the algae, so that is going to mean when I go to put these in here, I could just have this go all the way down to the ground, and then we could put some fluids on top. That might be the better way to go about this, based on how this clearance issue is looking. And I think I can get away with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 without getting any closer to here. That gets me to 12, and I need 13 on a side. So you know what? That actually will work out quite nicely if I just put tanks on top for either water or canola oil, which I know I do need over here. Let's just go for water on top of this. I think that's going to make the most sense. I know these are right here, but since we're going to be using water in here, I'm going to do that. Oh, I should not have hit tab. That is way too much stuff. Put that there, and then I know I have to have one more of these. One more of these on each side. But for now, I'm just going to have this set up here like so. Okay. And of course, we're going to have ladders here. I'll put them on the outside of that, and on the outside of that, and then inside we just have to put all of this stuff. I know this is a very arduous process, So I'll do my best to speed it up so we're not sitting here bored to literal tears. Alright, so that's going to get us started on algae. It's not going to replace everything. I know we still have to do the other side, but it's going to be a good start. And this is where I'm going to, once again, do a little bit of a time-lapse here. By a little bit, I mean a lot of it. Just going to get this rest of this drought cycle taken care of so we can get some more water in here. Start replenishing our reserves, because we're approaching 500 beavers, and, you know, the amount of water we're pumping is not necessarily enough for us to be really comfortable, and I know we still have a long way to go in getting the rest of our beavers in place, so we're going to have to tackle that. I think that's probably going to have to be a next episode thing with the impermeable floors and all that. But I'll catch you on the other side of this once the beavers have finished building everything else that I have prescribed for them to build. Okay, so I think I may have made a mistake in powering things, because none of this is connected, and I thought that wasn't going to be a problem. But it appears I forgot that this has to actually be connected to something. So for right now, I know, more temporary fixes. But this is just going to be the easiest way to do it. Just get those in there. Maximum priority so it actually has something done. And I know we still have garbage on the ground. They'll get it taken care of. And I know they haven't started on any of this stuff because they're still trying to build all sorts of other things. But, oh, this wasn't actually hooked up to paths. Okay, well, that's fixed there. Well, being up to 46 high is a big improvement there. That's feeling pretty good. And because we have our 2 exercise plazas here, which, again, the total number for those that we need is about 2. We could put in more. And I know I said I probably am, but I'm going to let this, for right now, just let this be, and we'll see if there's somewhere else that we're going to have to place some of this stuff, because right now we do have a whole lot of other things going on. We are starting to run out of time for this episode, or I guess at least in terms of what I have to record. I know there's still a lot of stuff we need to get done. But I wanted to talk before we're completely finished about what I would like to do on top of this area here. So, the row houses convey power, which is going to be super, super helpful for us. Because remember, the wind tunnels do have to be powered. And I haven't checked clearance on this yet. But I think we have space for 5 right here. If I were to put on this tile right here a single high platform, not going to be enough. So let's do the double. Just right... I guess right here is probably the best place to do this. If we want it to still connect, we'll do the double there. And then we come in with the 5x5 on this level. What that's going to allow us to do, and I probably will go one more high on this, that's going to allow us to place something on top of it and almost be in the right spot. But if we come over, I don't know why I still have all of these other things that one of these other mods I keep forgetting to turn off. But I know I'm jumping around all over the place. This is just how my brain works. I know it is what it is. Triple platform. This goes right here. If I can put another one back here, then I'll have access to all that other stuff. If I move this over, well, I know. Just please bear with me here. I'm trying my best. Very, 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 very long day, week, month, 3-month period. It'll pay off soon. But this right here is going to give the 5x5 space to back up all the way here. This right here is going to give the 5x5 space to back up all the way there. Just trust me. See the vision here. See the vision here. I can put a wind tunnel here. I can put a wind tunnel here. I can do that there. I can do the other thing right there, so I can have 4 of them. They can share a pathway access here and across here. And I think it's going to be a tremendously, tremendously helpful, very good thing. So we'll just get that in place there and there. And then we just have to, in the middle here, have a way to get up and down, which I know based on how these have been installed is not currently ideal. But don't forget, all I have to do is rotate one of these the other way, just like that. And then I can come in with a set of ladders against that side of the wall. And that is... okay, that's too high. There we go. There we go. That's going to work. Then all I have to do... keep in mind this is the same level we're attempting to use here. I come in on this level with that facing that way. That is, once again, too many levels. Then all I have to do, down at the very, very bottom, just connect this. I do have to do this piece by piece. I'm going to hit pause so I don't have those sound effects just absolutely destroying my brain at all times. I know I don't need this every single level, so I don't know why I did that. Feel free to just, you know, roast me. I know someone's going to do it. So I'll save you the effort there. This here is going to be a double platform. This here gets to be... that was the wrong one. 3x1. This here gets to be that. Goes all the way across. And that is going to get these connected here. This does have to be a ladder, so I unfortunately can't do the same exact thing here. So we are going to have some sort of other access to this area, which means I am probably going to have to do a little bit of weirdness to get into here. That has to go up, that has to go down. This doesn't necessarily have to go all the way down to here, but I think it's going to be better if it does. So give me this oil press here. I have to peel this back. I sure hope this makes sense, and I know it probably doesn't, but... let's get these in place there. Is that high enough? It is. Okay, now because of the setup we have here, there isn't really a better way that I have to do this and still have access because of the requirements here. I have to have a ladder go all the way down to get into this area, and I have to have somewhere else to hang stuff from. And in the vanilla game, the suspension bridges, unfortunately, do not work like they do in water beavers, because that will block both of these entrances, and water beavers that would be allowed. Oh, these extra overhangs. I can't really do this. I want to say there was a mod that had platforms with holes in the middle for ladders, but I don't have that installed. And some of you guys might not want me to put any more mods in this playthrough. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see, I suppose. Yeah, I'm thinking I'm not going to be able to, for right now at least, I'm not going to be able to have this set of ladders here. I'm going to have it come over from something else. So no matter what, I have to be able to connect here to here, and I have to be able to connect here to here. And this can go easily with a 6x or whatever on top of something with a ladder going up next to it. We already have this set of ladders here. Yeah, that's facing that way. I'll unpause in a little bit. Just, again, bear with me here. I think that is going to just have to be what I do. Give me my 6x1 overhang. Yeah, see, that'll work great there. That'll get me connected up to the top here, but it's not going to get me connected across this. I don't hate this, though. I don't completely hate this. I do hate it a little bit, but I don't completely hate it. I don't hate it enough to say, you know what, I'm not going to do this, but this, absolutely for sure, is completely busted. But it's going to help us actually get this all connected, so I guess it's fine. This is not going to have a ladder going up and down, just because there's no way I can actually get that to work unless I have some other mod, which I'm not going to do at this time. So appreciate your patience there. This is just going to have to be, I think, a triple with another one of these metal platforms. 4x should be... no, it is a 3. There we go. Good job. Okay, so that is going to be powered, of course, because these convey power and these are all powered. That's going to get these all connected, and then I should, by the time these are all done, I should be pretty close to 1,000. Maybe not perfect, but pretty close. Let's also not forget I have to have ladders on this side, and I can do just that to get that hooked up. That should be fine. Alright, so you guessed it, folks. These are not connected, but why? Oh, well that was a dumb choice not to do that. Okay, but yes. It is once again time-lapse time as they continue building all of this stuff. And we'll just have to see those things flashing up at the corner that are going to tell us what our well-being is. And yeah, we'll catch them on the other side, see what they've got done, and then I guess we'll have to end this episode and talk about what remains. We're getting really, really close, folks. We're getting really close, but there's still a decent bit to get done. All right, and now we have a maximum well-being of 48, down to 46 right now, but we did just get that right before I ended this time-lapse. We've got 4 wind tunnels, and Smart Power is going to let me turn these off if I don't have enough. And supply is not quite meeting demand. I think overall as time goes on we're going to see that this isn't going to matter quite as much. We will get there. I wonder, okay, what's not connected hydroponic garden wise? Is it the very bottom? Watch it be the very bottom. Yeah, okay, that's on me. That's on me. But food-wise, we're up to 20k. We don't have enough berries, which I didn't think was going to be an issue. It just seems we keep killing these berry bushes, and, you know, that's regrettable, is what it is. I wanted, before we're completely done... Yeah, see, they haven't even harvested all of this cassava, which is, you know, not exactly a great sign for us being able to... take care of everything we want to take care of here. But I am going to start the process of putting in dirt. Because, well, we need to be able to make space. And it's... oh, come on. It's not going to do itself. It will take time for them to clear this out in the way that's going to make the most sense, and I do have to leave access for them. But we'll get there. We'll get there. Probably a next episode thing. I really hope I don't have to go past 50 episodes, because that's such a good number to end at. But that's going to be what it's going to be. I do want to direct your attention to this area here, where we have a couple houses that have not been connected. But 516 plus 498 is more than 1,000. So, in fact, it's 1,014. So we've actually done it. We've gotten it to the point where we don't have to worry about having any extra beaver housing. And honestly, these top levels here, once I get the rest of this connected, probably don't need to exist. I don't think that's going to be that big of an issue. Let's just, real quick, I know I said I'm going to end the episode, but I do want this to actually be accessible. And that has to go down to... Oh, come on. That has to go down to... Which level? I'm sorry, I keep pausing this. I can't with these sounds all the time. Okay, that's going to go there. This gets a triple. That gets a path. Then we go up a little bit more. And then... I know we've created the forbidden 2x2 ugly, but that is the way it goes. That's going to add... Let's see, 16, and then another math on top of that. Yeah, I think we're fine to just have excess capacity. It's not going to be a big deal. They still have to actually breed the beavers, and until we have more berries, it's not going to be a thing. Not even going to be possible. But we're working our way up. We're at 500 beavers. We do only have 21,000 water for the next 13 and a half days, which is a little bit concerning. So what I might do before we're gone, just so we can get a little bit of a head start, is I might start putting in those, what do you call them? Impermeable floors. Even though we still have a lot of other construction we have to do, it's just going to be necessary that we actually have these in place, ready to go before we need them. And it's going to take us a little while to get this all built because this is all set up to need, I don't even know what I'm saying. All set up to need access, and I don't think I have it from above. And I only have 113 metal blocks, which that is something that is definitely going to need to get fixed. I know we've done a lot of building. These, in particular, are kind of expensive, 50 blocks each. And we do have these guys working. They are prioritized. Scrap metal situation is fine, but our treated plank storage is actually full. So I'm going to unpause this earth repopulator so they can start putting in the rest of the treated planks. The reason I unpause this one instead of this one is this one has nothing. This one does not need any more metal blocks, so it's just going to be a slam dunk for them to bring stuff in here as they have the ability. And we'll see what they can build here. I just didn't want to forget that I was going to put these things in here so that we could actually retain some water and reroute stuff just slightly to get up here. But yes, we've made tremendous progress today. We are technically making all of our foods now, and we did start growing algae again. I do have to put this on the other side, and then I have to have a place for one more hydroponic garden, which, I don't know. I may end up tearing this out. There's nothing in here anyway, and just building a third stack slightly lower. If I were to take 3 stacks out here, so take 3 out here, take 3 out here, then I could just put in one more of these stacked to 3 here and one more of these stacked to 3 here. If I took out the mud baths on this very bottom level, that would easily fit. And the mud baths, I only technically need 3, and if I put that on the other side, then that would probably also work just fine. The benefit to doing that, besides just, you know, filling this out a little bit more, is I could put large tanks here, and then immediately, because of the clearance, I could take overhangs like this, and we could just stack them super, super easy and have more here. Which, I don't think I'm going to need explosives for a little while. I do have to, when we get down to this part, I do have to blow this land up to flood the rest of this, but I don't... You know what? No, I'm just going to lay this out. We just have to remember not to hit B for boom. Famous last words, right? But if they put this in place, then I don't have to worry about having all of the dynamite stored. I can just let that be what it's going to be. Obviously, this middle part never gets blown up, but if I do that, I can easily come in here and take care of that. I don't need to have these mud baths. Okay, get out of here. Go somewhere else. We don't have that many injuries. I just need them to take care of that so I can start moving stuff elsewhere. I know it's like drinking through a fire hose. We have so much stuff going on, and I really need to get more stuff done. But I'm just running out of time, folks. I am doing my best. I'm just going to move this to here. Hit that as empty. Get that as a higher priority construction. And yes, I know it's a big waste, but it's gonna have to be fine. I will need to, you know, moving forward from this, I'm going to have to reconfigure where these ladders go, because I do have to be able to put overhangs on top of stuff. But I think it's going to be fine. Let's just get these out of here. Come on, somebody grab these last 5. I need to delete this so bad. Come on, let's go. Just anybody come over here. Just because I clicked on this, no one's going to do it. That's how this works, right? I've got extra beavers. I know, and here I go falling into the trap of getting distracted again, but I do need these guys to be utilizing their time a little bit better. Builders, I don't think are really that big of a deal. Ah, yes, the Bobingabout naming mod. You, a beaver. These are all fully staffed, huh? I don't really have a great spot. I mean, I could put some other stuff over here if I really wanted to. Sheesh. What a mess, huh? Well, I'm going to choose not to worry about it. These can just be on the ground. Not a big deal. They'll get moved around. And then I'll just have to put hydroponic gardens here. 3 high. 3 high once again. Remember, like, 5 times now I said I got it in the episode and I haven't stopped yet? Well, after this, it's actually going to be over. So we'll start with this. And then on top of here, I will rebuild my large tanks. Get this set to water. Get that set to water. And then, because of how this is set up, and if I want to cap these, I'm not going to be able to have any ladders here. So what will have to happen is ladders are going to have to just rely on this. And I know it's not the most efficient way of doing anything. But that's going to have to be fine there, and then I am going to, at some point, put in storages for everything. I think if I'm really smart about it, I may be able to get away with putting a ladder here, kind of roughly in the middle, as long as it doesn't go any higher than this. I think that's going to have to be good enough. Just get that there. So I need to be able to build, and I also need to be able to access all of this. That is that's just going to have to be enough. Okay, so if that goes there, then on top I just need all 6 of these right here to be 4x1s. And then on top of this, I don't have to have the ladder go up any higher this way, but this can just be, come on, tank storage facing this way. I hope this makes sense. But that is, that's that. But yes, this is where we're going to leave it. I really appreciate your patience with this series. All the helpful suggestions, ideas, and constructive criticism, always welcome. And I am glad that we are getting kind of close to the end. Not going to lie, I've been very frustrated with myself not being able to do this any quicker. I know a lot of folks are excited to see the thing end. Some of you are kind of tired of it, but I'm appreciative that you are still here. And of course, everyone who's really excited to see everything, then no need to tell you. You already know. But it is truly not possible for us to be able to continue doing this to the degree of insanity that we have been, with almost 50 episodes of a completely insane challenge, without the support of the Beard Boosters directly subsidizing the channel, making it so I don't have to do sponsorships from companies that, you know, you're probably sick of hearing from, and some of them, you know, maybe not the most ethical things out there. So I'm very thankful I get to do that, and those folks make it possible to do all that fun stuff and everything else that we've done on the side. I know some people might not want to hear about the train channel too much more, but we've been having a really, really fun time over there, and it's especially because of the direct support the Beard Boosters have given that has made it possible for me to get back into that. And I just love it so much, and I am so thankful for each and every one of you. Whatever it is you're doing with the rest of your day, stay safe, have fun, and we'll see you again soon for more beavers. Take care, friends. Bye-bye.